Hello again. We are definitely going to see things turning much milder as we go through the next 24 hours or so, but before then, there are still some wintry hazards around. There are warnings across the bulk of the UK, and it's particularly across northern parts of England where ice is going to be an issue, which is why there is an amber warning in force. We do still have some cold air across the UK, but there's a frontal system waiting out towards the southwest that's going to make its way northeastwards across the country as we go through the day. As that rain falls on frozen surfaces, we're likely to see some ice building up, and also there could be some snow and freezing rain on the leading edge of it. So that's why there will be some treacherous conditions for some. As we go into Monday, staying unsettled with further wet and windy weather, but an important thing to look at is where our winds will be coming from. You can see the winds will be coming from the south-southwest as we go into Monday, and so we're going to drag up much warmer, milder air, and so temperatures really are going to rise. Taking a closer look at that amber warning that I mentioned earlier, and you can see it's for a good chunk of northern England, valid until 8 p.m. on Sunday. It's mainly over higher ground that we've got the greatest cause for concern. A bit of freezing rain could really lead to some ice building up, and when you factor in some strong winds of gusts of 40 to 50 miles per hour, we could see some ice accretion on power lines too. So it's not just the travel disruption, there could be some power outages as well. Taking a look at the rest of the UK through Sunday, and yes, it's a cloudy, wet picture, the rain pushing its way northeastwards through the day. As I mentioned before, risk of some freezing rain and some snow on the leading edge of it in particular. It's staying cloudy and wet as we go through Sunday evening and overnight. Strong winds to watch out for, particularly towards the south and west. Here we could have some gales, especially around coasts and over the higher ground. But let's look at temperatures through Sunday. Yes, it was a cold, frosty start for many, but there was milder air towards the southwest. That milder air is then gradually going to make its way northeastwards across the rest of the UK, but it's quite slow progress, and so it is going to stay cold through the day for many northern and eastern areas. But interestingly, it's then actually going to be much milder overnight for many than it will be during the daytime, and that's all due to the change in our wind direction because we're dragging in that milder, warmer air from the south. As we look towards Monday then, it's again going to be quite a cloudy, wet day for many. There'll be outbreaks of rain, heaviest, particularly towards the south. That's where we do have a rain warning in force, and that's valid all the way into Tuesday because rainfall totals really could be building up, so some localised flooding is possible. Staying cloudy for most, and as I mentioned before, those strong winds persisting with gusts of 40 to 50 miles per hour in exposed spots. But notice those temperatures, despite the cloud and the rain, it's actually going to be very mild, much milder than we've seen of late, widely getting into the low teens Celsius, but obviously in the cloud, the rain and those strong winds, it will still feel quite unpleasant at times. As we go through the end of the day, we are going to see something a little bit drier and clearer across parts of Northern Ireland, and that clearer, drier weather will feed into parts of Scotland and Northern England overnight into Tuesday morning. So here there's the chance of a touch of frost perhaps, though it's not going to be as cold as recent mornings. But notice towards the south here it's staying cloudy and wet, and as I mentioned before, that warning persisting through into Tuesday. Then taking a look towards Christmas Day, and in the run-up things are going to stay pretty unsettled. By that I mean further periods of wet and windy weather to be had. And after a mild start to the week, I am expecting temperatures to dip a little bit, especially towards the north, and that's where there's the greatest chance of something wintry as we head towards Christmas Day itself. Remember, there's more information on the forecast in the run-up to Christmas and all those warnings, including that amber ice warning I mentioned earlier, on both the Met Office website, our app, and of course our social media channels. See you later.